away if you dare.
This is gonna be fun.
From a simple side character in Shrek to the star of one of the most acclaimed animated films of recent years, Puss in Boots didn't just win audiences over with his sword and adorable eyes, he also changed the game for animation. Today, we're diving into his incredible evolution, from his first appearances to his most epic version in The Last Wish and his Netflix series, Shrek II, 2004. In 2004, Shrek 2 hit theaters, and while it was already one of the most anticipated sequels of the time, no one could have predicted that it would give birth to an animated legend, Puss in Boots. In the story, Shrek and Fiona travel to far, far away to meet her parents. But of course, her royal parents aren't exactly thrilled that their daughter married an ogre. So, King Harold hires a hitman to get rid of Shrek. And who's that hitman? Exactly. A small cat with a Spanish accent, sword in hand, high boots, and a feathered hat. When he first appears, he's portrayed as a serious and dangerous hunter.
Now ye ogre, pray for mercy from Puss in Boots.
But the magic happens in seconds. The lethal assassin turns into the cutest kitty alive, with those huge, pleading eyes that melt hearts instantly. That was DreamWorks' genius move, turning a deadly cat into an adorable comedic character. Visually, it was a massive challenge for the animators. In 2004, animation technology still had its limits, and making a cat look believable was no easy task. Every movement of his fur, every twitch of his whiskers had to feel real. DreamWorks pulled it off thanks to a new hair simulation system that was groundbreaking at the time. As for his personality, from the very beginning he's introduced as a charming swordsman, noble, witty, and full of flair. Though he was hired to take down Shrek, instead of being a true villain, he ends up joining the team, because behind his assassin facade, he's actually loyal, honorable, and irresistibly charismatic. Puss's voice was brought to life by Antonio Banderas, and it became instantly iconic. Banderas even said he adjusted his voice to sound smaller and more feline. That mix of a deep, heroic tone with a playful touch defined the character forever.
Try handsome.
Sorry, no handsome. Hey, how about happily ever after?
Shrek III, 2007. 3 years later came Shrek III. And by this point, Puss in Boots was already a staple of the franchise. This time, the story revolves around Shrek having to find Arthur, the young heir to the throne, because he doesn't want to become king of far, far away. And what role does our feline hero play here? He becomes the perfect companion. It's clear he's no longer the new guy, but a loyal friend always by Shrek and Donkey's side. In this film, he's more humorous, more talkative, and always ready to add that gallant comedic flair to every scene.
How did you receive the wedgies when you are clearly not the wearer of the underpants?
Let's just say some things are better left unsaid and leave.
Visually, he doesn't change much from Shrek 2. He's still the elegant swashbuckler, with his signature cape, belt, and boots that make him look straight out of an adventure movie. But what stands out is how DreamWorks leaned fully into his comedic side. They knew audiences loved him, so they put him in more funny situations.
It's you, me, my cousin's boat, an ice-cold pitcher of mojitos, and 2 weeks of nothing but fishing.
In terms of animation, Shrek III brought visible improvements over its predecessor. Puss's fur had more definition, and his facial expressions were even more exaggerated, giving his comedic moments an extra punch. Shrek Forever After, 2010. In 2010 came Shrek Forever After, also known as Shrek, the Final Chapter. And here we got one of the most unexpected versions of Puss in Boots.
Hurry made me soft.
Don't be silly. Now who's a pretty kitty?
I am.
The story begins with Shrek living a routine, family life. But tired of being the domesticated ogre, he makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin, creating an alternate reality where Shrek never existed. And of course, that twist affects everyone, including our beloved Puss in Boots. When Shrek runs into him, surprise. Puss is no longer the agile, fearless swordsman we knew. In this reality, he's a chubby, spoiled, pampered cat, carried around like a royal pet. No boots, no sword, and no swagger. Instead, he's round, soft, and living the good life. This change worked both as a visual gag and a storytelling tool. Seeing the most agile character in the series turned into a lazy, overfed cat was comedy gold. But it also symbolized something deeper. Without Shrek, everyone lost their purpose, even the mighty Puss in Boots. What's fun is that despite his size and spoiled lifestyle, Puss still keeps that spark of charm and nobility.
For one moment, Fiona had actually found her true love.
As the story unfolds, he slowly rediscovers his warrior spirit and joins Shrek's cause once again. From an animation standpoint, DreamWorks had a lot of fun with the details. His fur looked softer and fluffier, his belly jiggled with every step, and his expressions were slower and lazier, with exaggerated yawns and sleepy eyes. Fans still remember this version fondly as one of the funniest takes on the character, a total contrast to his usual heroic self. The image of a chubby Puss in Boots became an instant pop culture classic. Puss in Boots, 2011. A year after Shrek Forever After, DreamWorks decided that Puss could no longer stay a sidekick. In 2011, he got his very own movie, Puss in Boots, where we finally learned his origin story, his past, and how he became the legendary outlaw. The film introduces us to an orphaned cat who grew up in the orphanage of San Ricardo alongside his best friend, Humpty Dumpty. Even as a kitten, Puss showed bravery, loyalty, and of course, that irresistible flair that would make him famous. His moment of glory came when he saved an old lady from a rampaging bull, an act that made him a local hero.
These are for you, my boy. Wear them as a symbol of honor and justice.
But a betrayal from his friend Humpty would later turn him into a fugitive, burdened by guilt and searching for redemption. Then comes his great adventure. Puss discovers the existence of the magic beans, the ones that lead to the legendary golden goose. He's not alone though. Enter Kitty Softpaws, a sly, agile thief just as skilled as he is. At first, they're rivals, but soon they become reluctant partners, and maybe something more. Their flirty rivalry and playful chemistry added a charming spark to the story. Together, they embark on a quest full of chases, sword fights, and double crosses, even facing off against Jack and Jill, reimagined as two rough and greedy criminals also hunting for the magic beans. The film blends fairy tale fantasy with Western-style adventure, creating something truly unique. Visually, Puss had never looked better. The level of fur detail was stunning. Every whisker, every strand of hair moved realistically. His design radiated confidence and charm. As for his personality, it truly shines here. Cocky but lovable, daring yet noble. He's the perfect anti-hero, one who makes mistakes, but whose heart always pushes him toward doing the right thing. This film humanized him more than ever. A flawed hero haunted by his past, yet still bold, graceful, and irresistibly mischievous. The movie gave us unforgettable moments. The dance-off duel between Puss and Kitty, the thrilling chases with Jack and Jill, and the breathtaking climb to the castle in the clouds, where Puss risks it all for the adventure. What audiences loved most was discovering that behind the charming swashbuckler was a story of pain and redemption. He wasn't just a funny side character anymore. He was deep, emotional, and heroic in a way we'd never seen before.
I don't know what I am. You are what you have always been. My brother.
Puss in Boots, The Three Diablos, 2012. After the massive success of his solo film, DreamWorks released a special short in 2012 titled Puss in Boots, The Three Diablos. Though it was a much shorter story, it was key to expanding the Puss in Boots universe, and it revealed a completely new side of the character. The short begins with our feline hero being captured by the authorities, but instead of punishing him, they ask for his help to recover a priceless jewel, the princess's ruby, stolen by a mysterious criminal known as the Whisperer, infamous for being impossible to catch.
I am the Whisperer.
Okay? One more time, okay, buddy?
Naturally, Puss accepts the mission with his usual confidence and flair. What he doesn't expect, however, is his team. 3 tiny kittens, seemingly innocent and adorable, known as the Three Diablos. At first, they look like angels, big eyes, tiny paws, and all. But the moment they start acting, Puss realizes why they're called Diablos. They're chaotic, mischievous, and capable of turning every plan into total disaster. The contrast throughout the short is brilliant. The suave, disciplined Puss, trying to lead 3 wild, unpredictable kittens who constantly test his patience. But as the adventure unfolds, he earns their trust, teaching them about bravery, loyalty, and even kindness. He grows protective of them, like a father figure, revealing a tender, caring side we hadn't seen before. The story culminates in a clever showdown with the Whisperer, where, thanks to Puss's quick thinking and the help of the Three Diablos, they manage to recover the ruby. In the end, instead of abandoning them as a burden, Puss grows fond of the kittens, proving that behind the charming swordsman's bravado lies a truly big heart.
Be good. My kids in boots. Allergies.
Visually, the short keeps the same polished animation style of the 2011 film, detailed fur, dynamic sword fights, and DreamWorks' signature humor. Even though it lasts just about 13 minutes, it feels like a full, fast-paced adventure on its own. This short was an important chapter because it showed that Puss wasn't just a lone hero. He could connect, protect, and care for others. It foreshadowed the more emotional, vulnerable version of the character we'd later see in The Last Wish, The Adventures of Puss in Boots, 2015 to 2018. After his solo film, Puss in Boots became so popular that DreamWorks simply couldn't let him rest. Between 2015 and 2018, Netflix released The Adventures of Puss in Boots, a 6-season animated series packed with magic, danger, and charm. This time, the story centers on Puss arriving in San Lorenzo, a hidden, enchanted city protected by a magical barrier. True to his reckless nature, Puss accidentally breaks the spell, exposing the city to every kind of villain, creature, and supernatural threat imaginable. So he takes it upon himself to defend the city, facing witches, monsters, ghosts, and even mythical beings like the legendary Sphinx. Visually, the show took a new approach. Puss's design was less realistic than in the films, more cartoonish and stylized, which fit the tone and pacing of a serialized adventure. The animation was lighter and faster, but still captured his signature charm: the hat, the boots, the sword, and those irresistible eyes. In terms of personality, this version of Puss stayed true to his essence: brave, dramatic, and always ready for adventure. But the series gave him more everyday struggles. He wasn't just fighting villains, he was learning how to live among people, make friends, and handle failure. For the first time, we saw Puss make mistakes, question himself, and grow, turning him from a legend into a relatable hero. A fun fact, even though Antonio Banderas didn't reprise his role as the voice of Puss in the series, the voice acting stayed impressively close to the original. Fans instantly connected with it, and the transition felt natural.
I excel at riddles. My mind is like a finely tuned machine that tears through riddles like a tiger through the flesh of the unwary.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, 2022. And here we reach the grand return. In 2022, after more than a decade, Puss in Boots came back with The Last Wish, a film that didn't just revive the character, but completely redefined him. The story begins with Puss living his usual life, full of adventures, parties, songs, and sword fights. But soon he discovers something shocking. He's already burned through 8 of his 9 lives. With only 1 life left, he's forced to face something he never had to before: his own mortality. This time, the journey is far more personal. Puss sets out on a quest to find the Wishing Star, a mythical relic that can restore his lost lives. Along the way, he's joined by Kitty Softpaws, back and fiercer than ever, and a new, unexpected ally, Perito, an innocent but big-hearted dog who steals the show with his sweetness and optimism. But the most unforgettable addition is the villain, the terrifying Big Bad Wolf, a personification of death itself.
I just love the smell of fear.
This twist completely changed the tone of the story. The wolf isn't just a dangerous enemy, he's a haunting reminder that Puss is running out of time. Every scene with him is filled with tension, from his eerie whistle to the way he appears out of nowhere, making him one of the most chilling and iconic villains in modern animation.
Who's that?
He's here for me.
Visually, the movie was breathtaking. DreamWorks shifted its animation style, taking inspiration from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. The result was a stunning hybrid of CGI and painterly illustration with bold colors and brushstroke-like textures that made every frame feel alive. The action scenes, especially the final duel between Puss and the wolf, look like moving works of art. As for Puss himself, we see him like never before, vulnerable, scared, and unsure. He's no longer just a cocky, fearless hero. He's a character who must learn to appreciate life as it is. That contrast between the legendary swashbuckler and the frightened cat trembling before death struck a deep emotional chord with audiences. A fan-favorite element was how the film balanced both sides of him, the fearless warrior who takes on armies, and the cute kitten with those iconic, wide, pleading eyes. That duality was explored perfectly, blending comedy, action, and heartfelt emotion. The Last Wish was praised by both critics and audiences, with many calling it one of the best animated films of the decade. It made viewers laugh, cry, and reflect, delivering a deeply human message about cherishing life, living in the moment, and finding meaning beyond fame or glory.
Lives flashing before your eyes.
No, just one. I'm done running.
And that's how we've seen Puss in Boots evolve, from a hired assassin in Shrek 2 to a legendary hero with his own saga. This isn't the only evolution we've explored on this channel, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other character evolutions. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.